My name is Matt Dombrowski. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Visual Arts and Design, and I'm the 2018 Jubin Award winner. When I won the award, it was a little surreal because I had spent so much time putting it together, and I have applied before, and they're not always guarantees because there's a lot of really talented teachers, especially online teachers at UCF. It was really recognition for the hours of work I put into not only the application but also the class, and it really made me feel proud to be a UCF professor, as well as the students who participated in that class really helped make that happen. We did the course review, and one of the big things that came out of that is accessibility. And so I went through and I really revamped the course from an accessibility standpoint to make sure that I was using proper tags and proper font choices and things like that to make sure that the course was better for everyone. So actually that review process made all my courses better, and not only just online, but mixed mode and really anytime I used an online modality. I reflected on my course and I really thought about what is the most important aspects of connecting with our students online. And three of the elements I came up with were community, communication, and candor. And those are all really important elements of student interaction. And so obviously community is building a relationship not only between me and the student, but the students and the other students in an online environment that's extraordinarily important, especially since they don't see each other face to face every day. And having online forums and the ability for them to discuss with one another in an open, free environment kind of creates that candor between one another. And candor is really an important word because I read Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull, and he was one of the founders of Pixar. And he discusses the difference between candor and criticism. And criticism tends to sometimes be a harsh word. And candor is really about opening up a dialogue so that people can kind of discuss and share viewpoints so the creative can actually come up with their own informed decision. So creating that candor is really important. And then obviously all that deals with communication and the ability to communicate, whether it's through text, whether it's through voice, whether it's through any medium, it could just be visual art, is really important as artists to have that ability. I also do what I call the Hall of Awesomeness, which is another kind of way to build community where at the end of every project, I put up a kind of reflection point where they can see not necessarily A projects, but the projects that kind of really started to grasp what the objectives were. And I think as soon as they see that, the students can relate to their peers and compare themselves to their peers in a good way, in a positive way, where they can say, oh, I should have worked on that, or I see what they did there. And that also gives them the opportunity to reach out to that student and kind of open that dialogue further. As I continue to work to be the best professor I can be, and that's a developing process and depends on the group, but we really want to encourage those 3 C's in face-to-face, online, and everywhere in between, because it's really important for our students to be able to feel comfortable enough to be receptive to feedback and receptive to growth, and more importantly, be able to reflect on what they've done in the course. It's really important for my students to become digital citizens. So there are tons of videos on my course. They learn how to push buttons, but the more important reason is they can learn to push buttons anywhere, but why are they pushing those buttons? And more importantly, who are they going to be pushing them for? For instance, here at Limitless, that I can have artists and engineers and computer scientists all come together to create really impactful pieces of work that help other people. And to have an artist on the same playing field as an engineer is really important. You know, our paths aren't always predetermined, and especially being in an art field or a creative field, there's jobs out there, but it's always seemingly kind of difficult to kind of find your place. And my goal as a teacher is to kind of show them that they can create their place, and they have empowerment, and art can create impact on other people, and they have a really good influence, a positive influence on other people's lives. And that is always kind of an undertone to my courses as well. Again, why are you doing this? Who are you doing this for? And how can it help other people? We have really good students at UCF, and I'm not just saying that, but we love them. And there's a lot of, especially with this course, it's a intro to modeling course, but a lot of the students who go into game design and the art side of animation and whatnot use this technique in their future careers. And we've had students who have, used their work to push portfolios through in Research Park and create serious games. A lot of the students have come through Limitless and then gotten hired full time. And it's really cool to see their feedback in the evaluations. And then one of the lines in the evaluation is, oh, I use this work and I applied to an internship, and now I'm getting paid like $20 an hour part-time, which is amazing for me as an educator to see them apply that into the real world.